You know what, folks? I can't wait for the better weather because we're going to be doing a walkie-talkie super test. So, and we're going to include... So we're going to do some new ones. And we're going to do some old ones as reference sets. Right, well, we've got this BInatone Long Ranger 40. And long range is what they are. Yeah, I did have a query. If you've got the 6-channel one and the 12-channel ones, can you choose different channels? And the answer is no, because it's the way the channel selector switch is, the wafers are made. So what does the customer say about this? BInatone never powered up. Battery pack doesn't seem connected. Service and MOT. Right. Another immaculate one. Oh, I suppose we better check the telescopic aerial's telescope. Oh, look, the telescopic aerial's broken. So, not sure what he's doing there. He's going to have to be very careful pulling that end element out, isn't he? That's why we always check these. You cannot use these without, with an element missing. Because the SWR is going to be affected. Right, so a not perfect aerial. Not a lot you can do about it. Loose screw. We keep doing these, but we haven't done the 6-channel one. If I don't get one soon, I'm going to have to do one of my own. They all do 6 miles, these. It doesn't matter which version it is, they're all the same range. And like it says on the tin, long. Longer than anything you can buy today. Right, that's come away nicely. I think we've got a Falcon set next, and then we're going to try and do something with a EM27 bzzz set. So you've got a lot more wiring in this. So although you've got the same synthesizer, you've got this subboard with a pretty normal 40-channel rotary switch on, and then you've got all this cross wiring because it's got to go to a display. So he thinks there's a possibility the battery pack isn't connected. So, but we'll connect it to our... I don't normally check batteries, I'll leave that for retail people, not us with us being trade. So we don't check them on batteries, but because he's mentioned it, it looks like I'm going to have to. So it's vital we have an external aerial socket. We'll plug this into mains adapter. It does tell us it is positive center. It says it's 450 milliamps. It isn't. It's 900 milliamps. So if you try and run this on 450 milliamps, your power supply will shut down. It's 450 milliamps for the charger, yeah. So we'll run this on 12 volts. Just get it connected to my power supply. We'll power it up. And I'll get my test set ready. And find the appropriate adapter. So we've got SO239 to Motorola which also can be used as a phono, but it is a Motorola adapter. And then we will be able to connect to the external aerial. So we're on external power. Let's see whether it powers up. Apart from some dirty volume control there, the answer is yes. So when you look at this, that is just so slack. So we'll just pinch that up a bit, because I'm sure that's all his. What I'm not going to do is go out and buy 10 batteries. So we know that one's positive, we know that's negative. So what we're going to do, unplug it from mains and put our crocodile clips on like this. So we know that's the negative, and touching that one's the positive. And it works. So I think that's all that was wrong with it. Okay, so put that on one side. So you're either going to put 8 AA alkalines in and 2 dummy batteries, or you're going to put 10 rechargeables in, or you can always buy an 8 AA holder and put 8 in from alkalines if you like spending money on throwing away batteries. Should get through a set in 20 minutes. Do these have serial numbers? I can't remember. Can't see it. Right, I'll switch picture-in-picture on if I can find the camera remote. There we go. Let's make sure we're on channel 20. We're on high power. We've got display on and off. It's going to transmit. We're on the low power setting because these don't usually give me 4 watts out of the socket. I said before, they may well do somewhere near 4 watts, but it's difficult to read it when you've got a rod antenna and a loading coil and all this. So to get a true reading, you'd have to unsolder that and take the connection from there. Well, you know, all these handhelds are tied with the same brush. We can never read the power properly. So right now it's doing 1.6 watts. On channel 40, doing 1.4 watts. On channel 1, it's doing 1.7 watts. Go back to channel 20. And on low power, it's doing 160 milliwatts. And the current consumption on high power is 477 milliamps. I would think it's giving a bit more than 2 watts to be doing that. Deviation, we're going to, fingers crossed, we don't have to adjust this. Wallow, it says 2.7. Now if that's true, I'm just going to get a second opinion from the other test set. Because the deviation that is on the speech processor board underneath the main board. So I have different tariffs for doing these. If I have to do the deviation, it takes it into a different tariff. But usually, 99 times out of 100, it's been set right at the factory. And because it's on this second board underneath, it doesn't get messed with. Right, I'll have to pick this up and make sure that I'm speaking to the little hole there, which is the electret mic. Wow, you know, it's exactly what the test set said. It's about 2.6p. So we like it to be a maximum of 2.5. It doesn't matter because it's a hand portable, and it's highly unlikely that is going to be problematic. So it's actually 2.3 to 2.6 kilohertz. What am I doing? What a prat. 2.3 to 2.6 kilohertz. That's fine. We won't be doing the VCO because we don't know of a method and it's never been messed with. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is put it on frequency. So we don't have to dig the board out of this set. So the 10.24 crystal, which is the reference crystal for the synthesizer chip, which is a OKI semiconductor long obsolete chip. These were obsolete when these sets were made. Whoever made these for BInatone must have been sat on bucket loads of these chips. So it's a general purpose chip, so it has to have a crystal mixer to make it do the right frequencies. And that's the faff, and that's the specialist thing where we're going to have to use 2 signal generators to do the receive. So it's just the same as the 6 and the 12 channel one, but around here there's a lot more wiring on the 40 channel one and this subboard. So let's look at what the frequency is right now. We'll go to the frequency counter. Well, it's not out of spec, but it isn't good. I'm starting to use your delta tune on that one, mate. I think it's the outer one. Not, it's the inner one. No, it's not, it's the outer one. Why didn't I see any change then? Apart from the fact I put my thumb on the rod there and got an RF burn. Let's hope it goes somewhere near. Tell you what, it's done it. It's gone up. Maybe 40 years old. But we're able to take it one above 27.79125, which is fantastic. So, lovely it doesn't have a meter. Lovely it doesn't have a meter. It doesn't have a meter lamp. It doesn't have public address. That's dirty. And the speaker and the mic work. And the sockets work. Hey, we're getting through this list, aren't we? You know what? Let's put it on frequency next. So I'm going to put the correct frequency in on the signal generator, 27.79125. Goodness knows what it was on receive before. So you're setting the transmit and receive separately. Important to know that. Now I've upset the receive, as you know. I can see it crying. Right, so there we are. We are on frequency on the signal generator. definitely is microphonic. Probably dirty channel selector switch. I'll just turn the power off, get the service cell on the channel selector switch. I'll just waggle that about, that's why I'm doing it with the power off. And then we've got these, we've got this volume control. Now it's one of those sealed types, but usually these rivets go through. Not necessarily on the other one there. So I'm just going to waggle that about. I could have done it through the switch one as well, which I will. Right. So we'll get our other signal generator. You cheap Chinese one. And we'll put 10.695 for the IF. So let's get this set back on. We'll take the tone off. From we'll take the tone off from the signal generator. So I've still got that. Let's turn the volume up. So it's now very loud. If I put the tone on a moment, very loud. And switch our little Chinese thing on. So can we hear that musical tone? We have to nullify that. There's the inner crystal. I mean, it's hardly off frequency, to be honest. So I might have to waggle it about, but I've waggled it. Now it won't go quite on frequency. Can you hear? We can get it higher. There's low. There's higher. That's miles off frequency. So let's see where it is on receive. So I'm going to put the frequency counter back on. And let's see what happens, where we have to get to nullify this. You know what? It won't actually come down low enough. It's 27.79137. So that's fine. That's well within. Good. End of that test. We don't normally put RX separately, but with it not quite going on frequency. So another 20 years this will be on frequency. Right. Let's do... so we'll leave the signal generator slightly wrong, so that when I tune the receiver, it's right. So right now, we're going to plug our, just turn the volume down, just going to plug our test equipment into the speaker socket. Now when I hold, let's just put the meter up. When I hold on to the chassis of this set, look how it gets better. Let go, hold it. So when you're holding this radio in your hand, you're earthing it. So it would be disingenuous of me to take a reading not holding it. So we're going to hold it, and let's see what we've got. So for 12 dB, we've got 0.94. For 10 dB, we've got 0.8. And for 20, if it will go anywhere near, there's only about noise on 20, it's 2.5. I'll come back to squelch. So I mean that's fine, but we will get better. So let's go through the transmitter. And change glasses. So the transmit strip is here. And then we finish off with the rod antenna fully extended, bearing in mind the final element is broken, so we've got to kind of put that where it should be, and then we'll be tuning the loading coil there for best field strength. So here goes. So 1.7 at the moment. Now I expect all these are wax filled. A little tiny bit more there. To 2.1 watts now. Can't remember whether this one's receive or transmit, but it doesn't matter whether I'm upsetting it because we'll be fixing it, won't we? It is transmit. There we go. So we've got 2.6 watts. Let's go to the other channels. The knob's in the wrong position on this. 2.5 on channel 40. And on channel 1 it's bound to be a bit more. It is 2.7. There's no adjustments, there's no presets. So whatever the squelch is whatever the squelch is, which is usually pretty wishy-washy. Low power is whatever low power is. So let's go to channel 20, pop it onto low power and see what we're now getting. And the answer is 200 milliwatts. Go back to full power and transmit. Current is now 547 milliamps. So we've gone up 1 watt and it's only drawing, what, 60 milliamps more. So we've gone from 1.6 watts to 2.6 watts. Now, it won't be doing real 4 watts, I do promise you. But it might be doing 3.5 in reality. Looking at the current consumption to the output we're getting, it could be doing 3.5. And all this 4 watt stuff is a bit of a they're playing this game where, like you would with money. So if it's 3.4 or less, you'd call it 3. But if it's 3.5 or more, you'd call it 4. It's all this rounding up and rounding down. So they call it 4 because it's 3.5, and that's probably the reality of it. The transistors are capable of 8, but the way it's done is so that it's well protected in case there isn't a perfect SWR. So these are one of the best range radios there is. You know, you're right there with the Realistic 1001, which is also a 3.5 watt radio, and the Realistic 1005, which says 4 watt on it, is also a 3.5 watt radio. We've got a Kaiser 40 channel handheld coming in. These Kaiser things, they say 4 watts on the box, but the output transistor is rated at 1.7 watts. So how can it be 4 watts? And the point is, traditionally German manufacturers sell these things on input power rather than output power. But it's not clear, and you know, it's full of bull, isn't it? Have we all seen these torches? And the military grade torch set fire to a field on a set of AA batteries. And when you get this thing, it's okay, but it's 1% of what they say it is. So nothing changes, does it? Right, so we've done the transmitter, and it's lovely. So let's see what we can do with the receiver. We haven't taken a squelch reading. What I'm going to do, we'll plug the speaker in, which we can actually hear. In fact, we'll just do it on the internal speaker. Here goes. Let's put the attenuator up so you can see what I'm doing. So at the moment we've got 3 microvolts showing. I'm going to turn squelch to full. Just like that. It's kind of 9 as a peak. I'll be generous and put 10. So normally you'd be looking at a mobile set having 100 microvolts for a full squelch, but if you try to use this as a base station in a town, you may have difficulty getting it to shut up between transmissions because of the residual background noise. So let's look at the sensitivity part of this. So go down, squelch down, set squelch to threshold, switch the signal generator back on, coming in at 1.5. So it's only just, otherwise it will chop round scratchy corner. I don't think things are going to change when I retune it. And on these sets it uses the built-in squelch which the MC3357 FM subsystem chip has inside it. Most CBs do, so it's a level type squelch. So we'll turn the squelch down, now we've done that. And we'll go back to the test instrument speaker, and 2 months later I've still not changed it to one you can hear, unless you've got good ears and your volume up. So I'm putting S9 on the signal generator, and then we're going to look at the oscilloscope just like that. I'm just going to adjust the oscilloscope for a bigger trace, and we're going to do the detector. Detector coil for maximum recovered audio. It's absolutely spot on as it was. It needed no adjustment. Now we'll go to the cyanide meter. So as ever, we need to have somewhere down 4 dBs. All over the place. So we're not saturating the receiver. Oh, I need to be holding on to it, don't I? That's why it's all over the place. So I'm doing the... So let's see whether we can get any more out of it. That was spot on. That was spot on. That was spot on. Let's change tools. Probably need to put a bigger signal on for this. Let's try it with a bigger signal. Try it with a smaller signal. Remember, these are crystal filtered as factory standard. The 6-channel one is, the 12-channel one is, and the 40-channel one is. So as far as I can see, we've made no improvement whatever to tuning the receiver. So let's get a new reading off the cyanide meter. So we had 0.94, and I've now got exactly the same. I could say 0.9. It's not even going to make an inch difference, is it? And for 10 dB, I've got 0.82. For 2.5, sorry, for 20, we've got 2.5, the same. There's no difference at all. So the squelch, let's take the speaker out. Squelch to full. Or hold on to the case. I might have forgotten last time. I could say I could actually say 20. Let's go to minimum. Turn the signal generator to standby. Set the squelch to threshold. And yeah, it's 1.5. So there's no change to the receiver. We've brought it more on frequency. I'd say slightly high, and I don't know where it was before because I messed with it. We brought the transmit frequency. It was starting to be, would have been a bit noticeable down at 068, but not illegally so. And brought the power at 1 watt, which is fantastic. So there we go. To clean the switches, as necessary, done the pots as necessary, so we're actually done. I'm going to go and do something else, so I'll come back, just disconnect it, and I'll have pleasure in putting it back together. So the final thing to do is do the field strength with the aerial, and I was struggling with the other day with the other one of these, so I bought myself another SWR meter, and look, it's a BInatone one, and I've paid far too much money for this. It says £8 on the box, but I actually paid £17.99 for this, and the reason being is because not only do you get the trough line meter and a broken, look at that crap, cable, but what it does come with is the field strength aerial. So always missing, aren't they? And I faff around putting bits of solder in. So today we'll do it with a BInatone field strength meter. I'll plug it back into power. And pull up the aerial, remembering that the last element is snapped out of its thingy. So I've got to pull that fully to its correct position. This could probably do with a WD-40 rag running it up it, but I'll leave that to the customer. So I've got the aerial fully extended. That's better. Put that there. That's the kind of thing you expect. Of course, I forgot to put the soldering iron on, didn't I? I'll just put the aerial adapter on our aerial. So we're now going to adjust the loading coil for maximum field strength. So there we go, we have the peak. Good. So I'll switch the power off. Put our beautiful BInatone meter away. And these aren't the printed circuit board ones, these are the proper trough line ones. Metal case, expensive to produce. The audio line one is similar, but to get one with the field strength antenna, wow. Right. Unpower it. Put the aerial back down. Definitely got some tight bits. Oh, we'll turn the soldering iron off. And with this facing downwards, so the PTT drops, making sure the grommet's in place there. sliding that into the guide thing there. I think we've got it. These sets came originally with a plasticky kind of carrying case as well. In fact, they all did. All the three did. So I've already proved this works from the battery holder. And let's put that back in. So I tightened up the connection there, if you remember. Right, power, aerial. Now this knob was in the wrong position, wasn't it? That's a bit nearer. One niner, Roger. It's about 6 o'clock in the evening. There we go. What a lovely set. Thanks for watching BInatone Long Ranger 40 from 1981.